Hello, my name is Orisha Waimia Jogre, and I'm gonna be making presentation on ethical code, which is deliverable 3. So right now I'm gonna start with my introduction. So this topic is about health service manager at Tree Mountain Regional Hospital. This hospital is also a general hospital that have the facility of surgery. The hospital has 400 beds. They have more than 62,000 emergency visits, new admissions, and more than 6,000 outpatients and 10,000 patient surgery has been performed. So, since the hospital was founded, I'm going to go ahead to explain to you the patient's relationship. The relationship between the patients and the workers. Okay, relationship with patients is not required because you are not on duty. The doctor and the nurse must have deals with patients in good manners. They are not allowed to use harsh language. Nurse must have to take care of each patient that may be in general or in private. Doctors must have to cooperate with patients by completing their basic need. So I'm going to go ahead to explain the physician activities. Okay, this physician must have to be on time to work. They must have to make proper history of each patient. They must have to deal with each emergency case in detail. They must have to take proper time table of each patient so that they are able to train every patient in proper way. The way of talking must be up to the mark. So basically that's all about patient's activities. That's what is needed for the patient's for the physician activities. So I'm going to go ahead to explain to you the billing service, how the billing service goes. So according to the billing service, the billing manager are involved in giving proper information to the hospital. They have to make proper record about each patient and about their profession. The billing manager must have to give proper billing facility to every patient so that there will be no difficult for them to pay in paying the hospital bill. So that's all about billing service. So I'm going to go ahead to explain to you the policy of the hospital. Okay, according to the policy activity, the physician have to learn about any change in the law or code. According to the law, the physician have to work on the basics of law and policy. Their responsibility is to take care of every patient according to law. This physician has to ensure that patients' care cannot be comprehended at any case. They have to avoid any kind of strict action because that will decrease patients' care, So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what I meant by conflict of interest. So the physician must have to analyze any conflict or disease of the patients. Then according to that, he must have to give proper advice. The physician must have to give proper advice to the patients about their disease so that there will be no problem for dealing with the issue. The physician are involved in giving proper recommendation about patient's therapy. So on my next slide right here, I have the communication skills. So I go ahead and explain to you what communication skills means to this complaint. Okay, the physician have to communicate with patients in good ways. Also, they must have to make linked with patients on social media like WhatsApp. They also have to communicate better with relative or patients while communicating with patients have to be polite so that noise pollution can be reduced. So here on the next slide is the privacy policy. So the record manager have to take care of each record of the patients. The record manager have to manage confidential health reports of each patient. The record manager must have to take care of personal data of each patient. The sensitive information must be kept secret by the physician. Prospective patients. The physician must have to give proper care and protection in case of any kind of emergency. They don't have to discriminate with patients on the basis of their race. The physician have to give proper attention to each patient. The physician must have to establish proper relations with their patients by giving proper care. So physician responsibility. So I'm going to tell you some of the physician responsibility. So the physician must have to promote proper plan for the patients in their discharge plan. They must have to ensure proper safe time for discharging. They have to make discharge plan without regard to immigration status. The physician have to identify the patient's problem, and then according to that they have to plan the discharge time. So in my conclusion, according to all my slides and my explanation, summing up all the discussion from above, it is concluded that when I am at the place of health manager, so what are my duty and responsibility? I have made different code of conduct for the patients that the physicians, the physician staff and other manager of the hospital have to follow. This code of ethic are necessary for the hospital manager. And here is my reference. And thank you for listening to me. And I hope you understand every bit of this. Bye.